If you want to level up, you have to start to build unbreakable discipline. You got to be that guy that when his old vices are calling him, when he's tempted out in the world, right, in certain situations that you might be in, you have built the discipline and the kind of man, the character who can say, no, just simply no. And you can walk away and be at peace. This past weekend, me and my girl went out, did some camping. I live in a pretty small city. There's maybe 40,000 somewhere in there people, and there's a bunch of really small towns on the outside of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people out in the woods, right, out in the mountains. So we go out, we go camping, and I noticed that she bought some wine, and I'm like, oh God, because I'm thinking to myself, right now I'm on that streak of no alcohol, right? I'm giving up all vices. I'm on like a full dopamine detox right now. No porn, no alcohol, no weed, no video games, none of that stuff that's going to distract me, lower my vibration, and lower my chances of success, and just keep me away from the version of myself that I want to become. So we go up there, it's great. We're having fun and everything. It's just so nice to be out in the woods and relaxing. And, we get towards night, right? And, she starts pouring some drinks and stuff. And I was just like, damn, bro, I really, really want this. Like, this is calling to me. Like, because I can drink a lot of alcohol pretty easily. I like to drink. It's fun. I enjoy it. But I know that it's something that I use as an escape. So I'm trying to stay away from it. Now, what's interesting is, in this particular scenario, you had like seltzer, some lime, some wine and stuff, and mixed it all up with some ice, and it was like hot out. So I was just like, dude, I want this so bad. Like the desire was so strong. But by the end of the weekend, I had basically decided, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And so for those 2 days we were camping, I just didn't drink anything. And it was like, there was almost like this realization I had that like, you really do have control over yourself and over your actions. And what I did in that moment was I just thought to myself, number one, like, I gave my word that I'm not going to do this right now, right? I gave my word. And it's like, yeah, you could do it and no one would know. You could do it and like, yeah, you guys wouldn't know. I wouldn't have to post it on my Instagram or whatever, but I would know, right? And so when you do that, when you do those kind of things where you give your word and then you break it, this is why it's so bad to do that, because we have all these external things that we hold ourselves accountable to, our jobs. We tell someone we're going to be somewhere on time and we show up. But then when it comes to ourselves, we're like, oh, we're just going to let that slide, bro. I'm not going to drink any alcohol, but yeah, okay, I'm going to do it. Like, bro, you're literally destroying your self-image and confidence in yourself because you're telling yourself you can't trust you. So during that time, I was really proud of myself because I basically just said no. I said no. And the reason I was able to say no was because, I thought about it. I was like, tomorrow, I'm not going to hit my wake up time. I'm not going to hit the wake up time. It's just not going to happen. If I go and drink right now and get wasted, I am not going to hit that wake up time. I'm going to feel like shit the next day, physically from the hangover. Well, not even necessarily hangover, just from the poisoning, right? But also just simply because I gave my word and I promote a lifestyle that I have to stay accountable to. If I go out there and start doing these things and I'm not being honest about it, then that kind of puts you guys in a bad position because I'm teaching something that I'm not doing. So I thought about those things and I thought about what is the highest version of Elijah? What would he do, right? What would Eli do in this situation, the highest version? And I had that vision and I just said, no, I'm not going to do it. And so that right there was a major win, right? Because it's not like, I'm not like some like super like addict or anything, but it's just like when you want to stop drinking alcohol, it can be difficult because this society is designed around it. It's designed around going out and socializing. Everywhere you go, people drink because, they don't have the social skills or confidence to just be themselves. So you have to, have drinks to lower your inhibition and to feel more social and all this stuff. Every event you go to, every restaurant you go to, they always ask you if you want drinks and all this stuff. And so we have a society built around it. And that should fucking actually tell you something. How, the majority of society is out here struggling, fat, out of shape, in depression, having anxiety, addicted to all these things. And that should tell you something about society and that you shouldn't be doing what everybody else is doing, right? If everyone else is getting a negative result and they're doing things like drinking, watching porn, smoking weed, doing all these other drugs, that should tell you a little bit about what you shouldn't be doing, right? So anyways, that was just a key moment. And I just want to come on here and give this story as a lesson of saying that the reason I was able to actually do that was a few of the things that I mentioned, right? But it was also because these past 2 weeks, I've been going super intense on my daily routine and hitting win after win after win after win, doing things that I don't want to do. Like when I wake up at 4:15 and I post that shit on my Instagram of me, waking up, then going into push-ups, then, cardio, then, me doing cold shower. I don't want to do any of those things, bro. I don't enjoy that. I hate doing that. I hate waking up. I'm a kind of guy who would I'd like to stay up till 2 a.m. and then wake up at like 10, right? And be playing video games and drinking. Like, that's what I would do if I was just to follow my base desires. But when you actually start to do things that are hard, like waking up early, I choose that because the sun isn't even up yet. Nobody's even awake. And it's fucking hard. There's a reason why no one's awake. It's because it sucks. No one does this shit because it sucks. But the thing is it's a secret hack. It's a secret hack because I'm waking up early and convincing myself that I'm going to do this no matter what. And when I do it, it's a win. It's a win because I've just basically gotten a level up in my discipline. It's like, like in Skyrim, or if you didn't play Skyrim, just like other video games, where like you have different attributes, right? You have different attributes, and over time you build up experience points and you get points, and you can add them into those attributes so that you stack, right? Like maybe you'll have like a 20 in terms of your power or 50 in terms of your power. It's just like that with your discipline. You're adding points. So all throughout my day, when I'm doing the cold shower, when I'm waking up early, when I'm going outside and doing push-ups, whether it's raining or just, a normal day out, those are all things I hate to do. And I'm doing them anyways. And so the default state, the habit that I'm building, becomes one of actually doing things I don't like to do. So literally, I build a habit of discipline. Discipline becomes a habit. Doing things I don't want to do, but I know are for the greater good and actually going to benefit me in life. Those are things that I just do. I just do them out of habit now. That's the ultimate cheat code, bro. And so that includes the vices, that includes the bad habits and addictions you have, because then you can say no to those, because all day long you've been doing things you don't want to do anyways. Like, for example, this morning, got in the cold shower. It was a little bit later than usual. And I was like, again, I was in the same situation, or I'm in the cold shower. I had it hot at first, and I'm like, bro, I don't want to turn this fucking dial. I do not want to turn this fucking dial. I don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. But I was just like, well, too bad, bro. It's too fucking bad. So I just cranked that shit all the way to cold and just endured it, just endured it. And every time I do it, obviously on the end, I feel better because just the benefits that you get to your body, but also just the mindset of I just did something I didn't want to do, but I fucking did it anyways. +1 in the discipline column, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, it's high, like you get hype off this shit. Eventually, once you start to remove all the things that will like lower you and lower your frequency, get rid of all the habits that make you feel bad. Like if you, like for example, like all the bad habits that you do, whether it be porn, video games, drinking, drugs, whatever it is, right? When you get rid of those things, you're no longer dropping into these places where you feel bad afterwards, you feel guilty, you feel ashamed. So you're in a better state, like all throughout the day. And then on top of that, you're building your discipline by doing things you don't want to do. And so this all ties back to me just saying, if you want to start to build that discipline, you want to be able to quit these bad habits, and you want to start to live a life where you feel fulfilled and you feel just so like purposeful throughout your day, just doing basic stuff, like doing things that people wouldn't normally do. And you want to have that high level of discipline and become a guy that you can actually respect. And not a guy that where your self-image is like, oh, I said I'm going to quit this, but I didn't do it. Not the kind of guy where you're like, oh, I'm going to actually wake up at 6, but you wake up at fucking 10. Not the kind of guy where you're supposed to go to the gym today and you're supposed to hit your protein and your macros, yet you completely failed and gave up just because it was too hard, just because you didn't feel like it. Just because you got distracted on social media or watching some fucking Netflix show. Like, if you don't want to be that guy, then you need to start to adopt a lifestyle where you're doing hard shit every single day that you don't want to do. That's beneficial for your mind, your body, and your spirit. So yeah, bro, it's been crazy. That it was a great weekend, but I definitely had a struggle there where I almost caved in. And this is the thing a lot of people don't tell you and are honest about, is that even when you get to this point of being disciplined, it's not that the temptation goes away. It's not that the temptation goes away or that you aren't going to see these things out in the world. You're going to be tempted. You're going to be tempted all the time. But the thing is you have so much control over yourself that it no longer is an issue. Like you just see it and you're like, yeah, no, because you know the effects that's going to have. You know the version of yourself that you're working towards, if that makes any sense. So if you're struggling right now, think about designing your day in such a way that you actually have small habits that are beneficial to you in your mind, body, and spirit, that help elevate you and help you feel good. They're not fun, or they don't make you feel happy in the moment, but when you're done, you feel like a sense of purpose and a sense of being fulfilled because you did them. Think about structuring your day that way and adding those habits in. And as you do that, you start to build the discipline. And so now, since you're trying to avoid all these other things, all these distractions and bad habits, it becomes so much easier to say no because you've just created this lifestyle of constantly doing things that you didn't really want to do. And that just builds literally unbreakable discipline. That's it for today, bro. Let me know down in the comments what's going on. What are you struggling with? How's the process going? By the way, if you do want to see like some of my stuff, the morning routine and whatnot, and sometimes I just post on my story throughout the day. You can check out my Insta. I don't really promote it that much just because only recently have I started using it again. But yeah, I haven't really been using it. I was kind of trying to get off Insta, but then I started to realize that it's actually a great opportunity for me to be able to showcase just like in quick moments throughout my day, kind of the habits and the different things I'm doing. Because in this space of personal development, self-improvement and stuff, there's so many fucking people talking. They're just constantly talking, but they don't show any results. They don't show shit. They don't show any of their habits. They just tell you what to do and what you should be doing with your life and be giving you all this advice, which is not, I'm not against that. I'm not against people giving their opinions, but like, how do we know that you actually practice what you preach? How do you know that what you tell me, like, does that actually work, or are you just coming up with this because you heard somebody else say it? So I do my best to try to show at least some of my life. That way you guys can actually get a real kind of feeling of what's going on. So that's it, bro. Just stay the course, keep going, keep tracking your habits, keep working on eliminating the bad ones and implementing the better ones that will take you to where you want to go. And yeah, that's basically it. We'll see you next time.